we're able to make it through another weekend without UFC fights, so I'm glad. Honestly, that's always worthy of a pat on the back to be able to get through a really boring weekend. At least for us, I mean, I know Blake and I NFL fans here, so we're able to have a full slate of NFL games on Saturday to keep us busy. But besides that, man, I felt like I was missing something, and we definitely were. But at least to make up for it, we have a really solid UFC fight night coming up this Saturday for UFC Vegas 34, Cannonier and Gastelum. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Even without the card going on, they saw plenty of news. But Blake, how are we feeling after a maybe not a card heavy week, but still a lot of news coming out last week?
Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling refreshed, ready to go. Get some new fights coming our way this weekend. Get the title picture cleared up in the middleweight division a little bit. See
Mm-hmm.
who's trending up and who's trending down. So excited for sure.
Exactly. It's going to be a good one. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in today. Of course, I'm your host, Ross Allen, joined alongside by the fourth long UFC correspondent, Blake Campbell. And there's some good stuff to jump into here. So let's get started with some of the saucier stuff here, Blake, with Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier chipping at each other over on Twitter. Of course, this Nate Diaz first called out Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier responded, and then things kind of looked like they were going somewhere, and then they stopped going somewhere, and then they just might have fizzled out at this point. So, is this a fight that you want to see? And do you think Nate Diaz and Dustin Poirier are actually going to fight?
Man, this is a tough one. Like, is
Mm-hmm.
it a fight I want to see? Yeah, I mean, I'd watch just about anyone throw down, but I don't think it's the fight that makes the most sense right now, in my
Obviously, yeah.
opinion. I think the Charles Oliveira fight makes the most sense. But if this fight got made, I mean, I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
upset. It would just wouldn't make sense completely. It would just be like, oh, okay, I guess they're settling their beef. But it
Mm-hmm.
would be a lot for Dustin to put at risk, especially if they fought at 155. I don't know what they would be doing though if they'd be fighting at 170, and that would make even less sense. Um, the only
Yeah.
way it makes sense is the fact that they don't like each other, and
Right.
they do eventually probably need to fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this is kind of a tough one because we're looking at some stuff here. I mean, some of the stuff we're going to get to is John Jones and Francis Ngannou possibly, or Cyril Gane, who we're going to go with there. Conor McGregor, Colin Kamar Usman. So it's almost like this whole Duke belt's not really mattering in the UFC anymore because Dustin Poirier twice now has chosen, or at least if he goes in Dustin, this would be twice in a row now where he chose the money over the belt because he could have fought. He probably could have fought Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight strap instead of Charles Oliveira fought Michael Chandler and ended up winning that one. And everything pointed to Dustin Poirier fighting Charles Oliveira for the lightweight strap again. But then we have this whole Nate Diaz situation. So I feel almost like the lightweight title really is just playing second fiddle on all this, and money is more important than titles. Is that something that you think is actually true?
I don't know. It's really tough to say without knowing like all the numbers behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's why I kind of feel like they kind of went dark on that whole situation.
Mm.
I bet you someone with the UFC got involved, with both sides and said, "Hey, chill out. That's not the direction we're going to go." I mean, that's what I would think would happen, at
Mm-hmm.
least, or hope maybe, if the belts really did mean something. Because the logical situation right now is Dustin fights Oliveira, and then the
Yep.
winner of Gaethje and Chandler fights Poirier, and until McGregor's healed up.
Mm-hmm. It
As
makes a lot of
crazy as that
sense.
sounds, because that's the money fight for sure. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 4 is going to be a killer. Like that's another 2.5 to maybe even 3 million pay-per-view buys
That's
for
probably going to
US.
happen, huh? That's
I
probably
think
going to
so.
happen.
I mean, McGregor's angling for it, but he's also open to the 170, like you were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I hope for I feel like for legacy's sake, it'd be the best decision for Poirier to fight Oliveira. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what numbers are being offered for each fight? Like
Right.
if there's a crazy difference in the amount of money that you're going to make for fighting Nate
Mm-hmm.
compared to fighting Oliveira, like why wouldn't you take the Nate fight? That just sounds silly. to take less money to
right?
still fight a killer.
Just kind of makes sense at that point, right? Just kind
And
of
then
makes.
when you fight for the title, like you're done for a few fights. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a hassle sometimes to get back up there unless you're a Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
a star. So or maybe not even a star, but just you got to be the guy
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Basically, with that one, I'm definitely really interested to see here. I personally, I'd rather see Dustin Poirier fight Charles Oliveira for the lightweight title. I think that's the best direction to go here. And then, if for whatever reason Dustin maybe before he retires, he fights Nate Diaz later down the line, maybe when the belt isn't on the line. Um, Obviously, it wouldn't be on the line. Nate Diaz is never going to fight in the 155-pound weight class again.
He doesn't
Which
want to. It sounds like
he doesn't want to. I don't blame him for not wanting to. He's a big lightweight anyway. So,
mm-hmm.
I mean, almost the weight cut almost is worth it. The money fight is going to be Dustin Poirier versus Nate Diaz. The best fight in terms of what's best for the sport is going to be Charles Oliveira, and I 100% believe that. Now, the next thing going on, speaking of that welterweight, and kind of like what we brought up here, is Conor McGregor has already, I mean, who hasn't he called out while he's been, high at 2 o'clock in the morning, sitting on his couch on Twitter, man? Someone needs to take his phone away from him. He needs a manager, man. He should not be on his phone that late night, whether he's drunk on, or high on some painkillers, drunk on some popper number 12, or he's even smoking those doobies over there in Ireland, what we've seen him doing recently. Man, this guy is all over the place. Now, his most recent person call out has been Kamaru Usman, talking about how he's going to be a champion in 3 different weight classes and win the championship by knockout in the welterweight class. No. If this ever, I guess it's kind of being Conor, but if this fight actually happened, Kamaru Usman murders Conor McGregor, and this fight is not close. It gets finished within the first 3 minutes of the first round, hands down.
Wow.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I'd have a tough time seeing Conor beat Usman, considering how the whole Habib fight played out. I mean, I feel like Usman versus Habib would be a really good fight.
I think,
So
hey, if we want to say that, I think Kamaru Usman wins that one too.
that'd be an interesting one. I don't know.
But now that's fight's never gone because Khabib's playing soccer now, so he's going doing
True,
his
he's
thing
a
with
professional soccer player
professional
now.
soccer player. Khabib Nurmagomedov, okay.
That's fire.
Good for him. He's living his dream. That's a happy man.
Yeah, I mean Connor's behavior is a little. Uh, I don't even know the right word to describe it. It's just it's
All
kind
over the
of
place, man.
all over the place, Uh, and the fact that he deletes his tweets after he tweets them,
Dude, we
it's
got
kind of
screenshots.
weird.
Come on now.
Yeah, well, the fact you're so big, it doesn't matter. As soon as you tweet something, someone subscribed to you, to your notifications, and they're screenshotting it regardless of what it says. It could say anything. They screenshot it just in case. Once you're at that level, so I don't get that part of it. That's weird to me. And yeah, he's been getting super personal lately.
Right?
Like
Isn't that
really,
weird?
really, really personal. Like with
Way more than
Bisping.
usual.
You saw the Bisping tweets.
Well, the Bisping tweets, the
DC
Daniel
tweets,
Cormier
obviously,
tweets.
the Habib father tweet. I mean,
It's
Dustin Poirier's wife, Dustin Poirier in general, Nate. I mean, he just, yeah, I don't know. He's definitely taken the heel approach serious for sure.
there's no such
I
thing
just
as
I don't
nice
know
Conor.
how. Yeah, I just don't know how much that energy weighs on him and his mental and everything like that. It's going to be interesting to see him come back because it sounds like he's still very motivated to come back. But yeah, it's just kind of sad to see because you want people to be happy, and I don't know if monetarily he's happy, but I'm sure it's got to hurt his ego a lot and his pride a lot, not being as good as he probably once thought he was and probably still thinks he is.
Yeah. Do you think this fight will ever happen? Is there even a remote chance of this ever going down?
Usman and McGregor? I don't think so, man. Because how would you make sense that? It would just, that would just be a because fight, just because. Because he's not a contender in the welterweight division.
No.
So he'd be passing everyone up. The only thing that he's got going on his side is potentially by the time he comes back from injury, Usman will have already fought everyone once and Colby twice.
Technically, Conor McGregor is undefeated as a welterweight.
Yeah, against Cerrone and well, no, didn't Nate Diaz tap him out
I thought
at
that was
170?
was that 160 or catchweight?
Yeah, that was 170.
Oh, that was
He tapped him out, and that's why they went back at 170 because
never
McGregor
mind.
wanted to
That
beat
is
him
correct,
at
Blake.
the same
Thank you
weight.
for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, Conor McGregor doesn't even hold. Yeah, no, he's. This is so bad. This is just him being high, or being dumb. This doesn't make any sense, and it's almost getting annoying. These Conor antics are almost getting annoying at this point, and it's almost sad.
He's got everyone talking about him though.
Yeah, everyone would be talking about him without this, so it's the thing too.
They wouldn't be talking about him as much.
Fair enough, man. I guess you guys keep selling whiskey.
Got to keep the wheels spinning.
The wheelchair spinning, that's for damn sure. Come on. Nothing for that. I thought that was pretty good.
That was all right.
It's all right. Okay, you know what? I'll take all right from you, Blake. Blake's a little bit of a stickler here, so you know.
I got high standards. You know.
I do normally put out some good ones, so I'll make you chuckle here every once in a while. Speaking of which, let's make you laugh with this one, Blake. I'm gonna give you a statement, and that is that Jon Jones is going to be the next fighter to fight Francis Ngannou, and not Cyril Gane.
Who said that?
Ariel Helwani said that. And some people are actually thinking this too. Is there a chance that we actually get Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou before the titles are unified? The interim heavyweight title and the undisputed heavyweight title of the world?
Didn't Stipe versus Jones just get announced?
Not technically. There's a verbal agreement, is the last news report on that.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even know on this one.
It's just weird. Like, why just you guys, or you should have made the Jon Jones fight, but who knows what's going on with that situation? And then, now it's like the Cyril Gane fight's the clear and obvious situation, and you're gonna mess around with that. Like but it's just aerial reporting. So I mean, who knows?
Well, there's no reports. That's what he wants at least.
Oh, well then it really is nothing. He's just probably stirring the pot.
Yeah, I think it's kind of lame though. There's, admittedly, I could see Dana White and the UFC doing this. It wouldn't be like the worst thing they've ever done, the worst matchup they've ever done. It would probably be just as bad as actually making Derek Lewis versus Cyril Gane for an interim heavyweight championship. But just saying that aside, say there's no championships on the line at all. All right, no one has a belt. Would you rather see Francis right now? Would you rather see Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones or Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane?
Right now, honestly, I'd probably rather see Gane versus Ngannou.
I'm there with you.
After seeing, because I mean, I'm taking Gane's past two performances in mind now. Because the one before that, I wasn't super impressed with, but he's gotten better each time he's come out and performed. Like against Volkov, he got better. Against who did he just fight? Derek Lewis. He got better. I mean, and he's finishing opponents now. It's just like, yeah, I mean, and he's established at this weight class, whereas Jon, he hasn't fought at this weight class yet. I don't think for sure not in the UFC banner, obviously. So I'm a little bit more intrigued by the Gane and Ngannou matchup right now, just because there's history there, all that jazz. There's a lot more questions with Jon. How will he hold up at heavyweight? Is his speed still? Is his quickness still going to be there? All that stuff. So, yeah, I think I'd rather see the Gane and Ngannou fight, and I think this is not really it's almost a win-win situation. Whoever loses or whoever wins basically is still going to be a huge fight for Jones.
Yes,
it's not like if Gane wins, it's not going to be a huge fight anymore. It's still going to be a huge fight because Gane is the guy that beat Ngannou now, that everyone thought was new and improved and was unbeatable and scary as hell. And then Jones is going to have to figure out a way to, the best light heavyweight of all time is going to have to figure out a way to beat him, which is going to be super interesting because that would just be a really super technical fight.
From a matchup perspective, that would be one of the coolest fights you could ever book.
and say Ngannou sparks Gane, that's still sweet because we still get Ngannou versus Jones, but now
Yeah.
Ngannou is even more proven, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like probably an even bigger fight.
Even scarier too.
Yeah.
Well,
So like, say
if
he
Ngannou's,
sparks Gane,
uh-huh.
dude, bro,
Oh,
that's a bad man right
if
there.
Ngannou starts is gone, John Jones retires, or he drops down to light heavyweight to fight Jan Blachowicz.
Or let Stipe tap him out or something.
Right? Hey, Stipe.
Let him rear naked him.
Hey, or he lets some little Pride FC stuff going on, little throwing fights just to get out of that.
Man.
Oh, there's no way John Jones fights Francis Ngannou if he knocks out Cyril Gane. There's no way that happens. But maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see here, man. But let's get to Blake's guy here. Of course, the resident Sugar Sean O'Malley fan, the super fan, the stalker. Probably takes trips out to Arizona every once in a while to just go check on in on him, you know. But Blake, you saw the recent comments that your boy's making about how essentially, since he gets paid to fight unranked guy, and he gets paid the same whether it's unranked opponent or a ranked opponent, that he'd rather just fight these unranked guys. What do you think about this?
Oh, I think that people are twisting his words like always. Because if you listen to where he said that, where I want to say it was, I mean, he said it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is literally advice from Uncle Chael. You fight the, lowest ranked guy on the highest billing of the card.
You fight
and preferably on a pay-per-view.
For the most money.
Exactly. And that's all Sean's ever been saying ever. And that's all he says to all the trolls. Like, specifically for this last fight, where, there was like 10 people that threw their names in the hat and only like 2 of them were able to make weight.
Mm-hmm.
Cough, cough, Ricky Simone.
Mm.
So, and that was really the thing. Like, I feel like that's the thing people are most mad at him about. They're just taking his words out of context. It's not like he's saying I won't fight I won't fight a ranked fighter. He's saying why would I fight a ranked fighter on short notice when there's another guy that I feel like I could just make an easy night of. And look where it's gotten him. It's got him in talks to be fighting Frankie Edgar, if not at MSG, which probably isn't going to happen because he doesn't want to fight in New York, which is understandable.
They take way too much money.
And the commission there is weird.
It's awful.
So what did he do last fight? He fought Chris Moutinho, a pizza delivery guy, basically, people like to call him. And now he's about to fight Frankie. So I don't understand why people are getting upset about it. He's not saying he wouldn't fight a ranked fighter.
Is he about to fight Frankie?
To fight a ranked fighter. He's just saying if it's 2-week notice and he has these few choices and this guy already said he can't make the weight that he wants to fight at, then I'm going to take the cans. Like, that's just smart business. Like, why would he not add to the highlight reel?
Right. From a fighter perspective, it's a win-win situation for him because one, he gets to put together some more highlights. He gets more notoriety from that stuff. He gets to be booked on. He gets put on ESPN and in Sports Center and Bleacher Report and all that kind of stuff. People see him everywhere. I mean, he gets to sell a little bit more merch from that as well, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. And then maybe promote the Twitch channel, have a good time with that. And he's also getting paid the same amount of money to do so. It's not like he's taking a pay cut. And then also he's probably going to get a performance bonus. So that's an extra $50K right there. Or $75K, depending on what card we're talking about.
And dude, if he does end up fighting Frankie Edgar next, man, that's going to be a test.
That's a fantastic fight.
Because everyone's saying Frankie Edgar will do what he did to Yair Rodriguez to him. And man, I hope not. But Frankie's he's a solid wrestler.
Stud.
So
absolute stud.
That'd be a huge test. Huge freaking test.
Shoot, man, we'll see if the ankle could hold up under the wrestling pressure, I guess, huh?
You're crazy. Put some respect on his name.
Hey, I put plenty of respect on his name. I just take my shots when I can. Oh, okay. So, I was seeing some kind of discussions here over on Twitter. Most importantly, centered around Brandon or Davison Figueiredo. Pretty much calling out Brandon Moreno, saying almost like he's ducking him and that he doesn't want the third fight. And after this fight, all right, when the second fight happened, Blake, you and I made it pretty obvious that you and I think that this fight, the trilogy there's no need for this trilogy, right? we saw this first fight was close. The second fight, not close at all. And I really think that maybe we should go to another title challenger. Deiveson Figueiredo gets back in line. Maybe has to get another win, gets a contender first. Or I even throw out the possibility of him moving up to bantamweight. Because he probably looked really good at 135. But he's a little calm for this. Personally, Blake, I went on and said that I'd much rather see there's a bigger need for Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier 4 than there is for Moreno versus Figgy 3. Is that a correct statement? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Which one would you is that the one you'd rather see as well? Which one would be a better fight?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as there's no freak injury, because we got kind of robbed of the third fight. Like that third fight, I really don't count that fight too much. I mean, that's a freak injury.
That I don't know, he really just check that kick, Blake. Don't know what to tell you.
Come on. There was no check.
There was a little check, maybe.
There was no check.
Hey, Dana White signed.
Conor broke his leg on Dustin, dude. He broke his leg on him. He was kicking the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Not saying that he wasn't losing that fight, but we didn't get to see maybe Dustin would have won. Who knows?
Definitely.
We never would have known. So that's why I'm saying we didn't get finality. Like I don't count that as like really a dub necessarily. I mean, I guess it's a dub, but it just doesn't feel the same, because that crazy stuff is just wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Especially when it was different than the Uriah Hall and Chris Weidman stuff, and then even the Weidman and Silva stuff, all that. It's not really a similar situation because there was a clear kick to a check, and then right then there afterwards, the split second after, like the next movement, stuff's breaking. But this one, it was like, I don't know, like it happened at some point and then it finally just gave out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would much rather see the McGregor fight.
What would be the better fight, though? Because Figueiredo and Moreno one was a fight of the year contender. You can't say that about either of the three Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor fights. They've been excited, definitely not fight of the years. The second fight was a better fight. Honestly, personally, I like that fight more from like what we actually saw inside the octagon, the actual fight itself, than in either three McGregor versus Dustin fights. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Figgy Moreno one was definitely a banger, but I don't know, man. I feel like there's still so much left, so much untapped potential left in McGregor and Poirier matchup. I feel like we've seen the best of Figgy and Moreno.
Yeah,
and I kind of feel like Moreno has that one locked, So McGregor and Poirier, I still feel like there's something left unsettled there. Like there needs to be just one more chapter to that book.
And then I bet you that fourth fight also ends in some freak injury. Bring on the fifth fight. Bring on the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. These guys are going to be fighting for the next 5 years, and it's just going to be against each other.
Right. Just have a yearly fight.
Oh, hey guys, look, do you see what's coming in July? It's an annual Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier fight going on.
Dude, that'd be funny.
Oh, man. Yeah. That'd be so great. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's head on into UFC Vegas 34 and check out this card because I saw some people that might be sleeping on this card a little bit here because there's plenty of solid fights on here. I mean, starting us off is going to be Sasha Plotnikov and Ramiz Brahimaj. And if you remember, Sasha Plotnikov is a guy that we did have on our show getting close to a year ago, last November time. And so he's a great guy with a really good fighter. His first fight on the UFC was a fight of the night winner. So obviously he knows how to make a statement there. I feel like
the guy he's fighting against, Brahimaj, is the guy that got his ear cut off by Max Griffin.
Oh, that's gross, man. Yeah, no. That's the guy that's missed. So we got fight night winner and the guy with half an ear. So we got that going on right now. Brian Boom Kelleher is on the card. We got Vince from Hell, Pichelle, and a little bit of an up and comer, Austin Hubbard here. Got some bantamweight action going on, and a decent, it's a solid heavyweight matchup here with Parker Porter and Chase Sherman. Then of course that main event is between Jared Cannonier and Kelvin Gastelum is going to be an absolute banger. But speaking of bangers, Blake, let's get this week's Blake's bangers.
Yes, sir. So the first one I'm going with a little bit. I feel like this is under the radar, maybe for a lot of people. We're going with some young guns. Roosevelt Roberts versus Ignacio Bajamondes is the second fight on the prelims. These guys are both 6'2". Roberts is 27 years old. Bajamondes is 23. So it's like an interesting matchup, in my opinion. They're lightweights, 155 pounders. So I just think it should be hopefully a fast pace, scrappy, good fight with hopefully a knockdown or not a knockdown, a knockout. That's what I am hoping for. Next fight that I'm going with, I think this could possibly end up being maybe the most high level besides the main event. Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval in the flyweight division.
That's huge for that flyweight division, man.
Yep. Royval has the height on him, but they're actually like only a half-inch difference in reach, with Royval having 68, Pantoja having 67 and a half. This is big for the flyweight division. So these guys are probably second or third in line, whoever wins this. So yeah, big time fight there. And then the last banger, we're gonna go with Clay Guida, just because he's a freaking legend. And
Hall
Mark
of Famer,
Matz,
man.
yeah, Hall of Famer. I'm sorry for the fight with Diego Sanchez.
Oh yeah, and the future Hall of Famer just in general. Just gonna put the man himself in there. Have to.
Yeah, I mean he's solid. Mark Madsen, 10-0 record. That's shiny. We'll see how and he's got an Olympic medal or something, right? Isn't it something like that?
I think something.
Olympic silver medalist.
That's pretty damn good. That's
four-time medalist at the World Wrestling Championships.
Yeah.
These guys are pretty much identical in size, 5'6", 5'7". Madsen has a 2-inch reach advantage. Should be a competitive fight. These guys are both going to be, high-level wrestlers, grinders. So we'll see who has more in the tank, I guess. That's really what it's going to come down to.
Essentially here, man. But it's a good card. But let's get into predictions of this main event here. But first off, I want to ask you a question. So Kelvin Gastelum was on a bit of a skid. He's maybe finding his way back here. Then Jared Cannonier, he was known as the dark horse of the middleweight division. Then he had that huge fight with Robert Whittaker last September. Of course, that was on the Gaethje and Khabib card. Jared Cannonier broke his arm early in the fight, and then he got handled over 3 rounds with one of the best middleweights ever, to be honest. So, who's this fight bigger for? Is it bigger for Kelvin Gastelum or Jared Cannonier?
I don't know. I think it's pretty big for both of them. I mean, Gastelum has he lost his last fight. They both lost their last fight to Whittaker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's kind of equal, really. It's tough to say, man. I don't know if it's necessarily bigger for either one of them. I think it's huge for both. It's a super even fight. Cannonier is going to have the reach advantage. I think Gastelum might be a little he might have a harder head, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know, dude. He's got that scrappiness in him. Like I said, I have not seen him from striking. I have not seen him quit. So if that's what this is going to be, a striking battle, I think that I have to I think I'm going to have to favor Gastelum just because he's been in there with the Izzies. He's been in there with the Whittakers. I mean,
Izzy's best fight. Best fight.
For sure. He was definitely Izzy's best fight to date. Most entertaining, closest fight. So if it's going to be a stand up and trading war, I think I'm going to have to go with Gastelum, man. Seriously.
I think I might ride with Jared Cannonier on this one, just because he was looking really, really good until
that injury.
Until that injury, and until running into the Reaper, Robert Whittaker, right. Man. That's a bad man. So, I think it's going to be a really close fight, man. It's going to be a really, really close fight. Cannonier might have to finish this one early.
This is at the Apex, huh?
Yeah.
So limited crowd, not a huge crowd.
If it goes the distance, that probably favors Kelvin Gastelum, you think?
Yeah, I think the longer it goes, Gastelum's probably got more experience, I want to say. I think Cannonier's just maybe that one fight with Whittaker been in a 5-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's about it. I'm not sure.
That was a 3-rounder one. That was a co-main.
Oh, so yeah, he's probably not even been in a 5-rounder then yet.
He has not.
So yeah, I think definitely it'll favor.
Mm-hmm.
It'll definitely favor Gastelum the longer it goes.
If it gets out of two rounds, this might be a Kelvin fight. If it gets finished within the first 2 rounds, it's probably Jared Cannonier doing the finishing.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he might have a little more power. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup, and I think ultimately, the winner of this definitely gets right back into title contention.
Oh yeah,
easily.
And you're like second or third in line.
Right? Yeah, probably they're right there, man. I mean, the winner
probably like behind Whittaker, really. I mean,
probably need to win this fight and then maybe one more, and then you get a title shot. Is kind of what
you're probably behind Till if he beats Brunson, and then maybe even behind Costa and Vittori still.
Yeah,
like the winner of this fight might fight the winner of that fight.
Oh, that'd be a
Costa
perfect
Vittori.
number 1 contender fight. That would be perfect.
So I think that would be sweet.
Mm-hmm. I really hope that we get that because I think that'd be a fantastic way to really kind of tie up what's going on here.
We'll save that for next week, though. Just edit that part out.
No, that's too much work here, quite frankly. And it's a good take, so we're definitely leaving that in. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'd love to hear your predictions on this, and let us know, who do you think this fight's more important for? Jared Cannonier or Kelvin Gastelum? But we're actually going to go ahead and wrap things up here with the Nene of the week. And there's only one person, realistically, that you can choose that got Nene the hardest, and that is the guy that had the great idea of trying to carjack UFC fighter Jordan Williams. Jordan Williams going to a convenience store and just getting a little snack, and then the guy sticks in his car and starts to drive away with it till Jordan Williams runs out there, pulls him out of the car, lands a couple punches in there, knees his ass on the ground, and then also lets him off lightly because the guy gets to run away. Yeah, I'm surprised Jordan Williams didn't just keep whooping his ass.
Yeah, good self-control there. I mean, you don't want to have the police get involved and possibly...
we don't need no manslaughter charges on us now, do we?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and anytime you use force or anything like that, police will just take you to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So...
That's a good thing we got security cameras, right?
I mean, I guess depending what state you're in, that's how it is in California, is all I know. So even if someone breaks into your house and you beat their ass, you're going to jail.
Yeah, California is an interesting state. Let's see if this happened maybe Nevada, Texas, or the great state of Idaho. Might be a different conversation here.
Probably be all right. You probably beat him up a little bit. Just as long as he's still breathing.
Hey, officer, he tried to steal my car. Okay, let me get a kick and real quick. We'll arrest him. All right. Who knows, man? But goes to show you, I mean, you mess with guys like, don't steal people's cars, okay? Because we've seen people run into Derek Lewis, get knocked the hell out. Run to Jordan Williams, you get your head caved in, okay? Just moral of the story here: don't steal cars. I think that's safe to say, right?
Yep.
Hey.
I'm not going to be trying it out anytime soon.
Hey man, if you want to steal a car, just don't do it. Just don't do it, man. It's bad.
Don't get Nene.
That's the real moral of the story here. It's not stealing cars. It's don't get Nene. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to UFC Talk 57. Of course, a little bit of a shorter show this week. We still got some fun topics to talk about, and of course, we're going to have a full card to look over next week. And then after that, the card after that as well is going to be a fun one that's headlined by Edson Barboza and Giga Chikadze, and we finally get the answer to the question of where Kevin Lee fits into all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a great Saturday with the return of fights. But Blake, your thoughts on We Have to Do. See, this works out for you. We Have to Do your thoughts on UFC Vegas 34 in one word or phrase.
Well, that's the one that's coming up this weekend, right?
Yes, sir.
I just had to make sure because I can't count very well.
I'm not throwing you wrenches in here, okay? I'm being very straightforward with this one.
Redemption. Let's go with redemption because they're both coming off of losses to Whitaker, and this will be a redemption fight for one of them.
I love that. You remember how the UFC used to like title their pay-per-views?
Name pay-per-views, yeah.
That's what this one is. UFC
Redemption.
Vegas 34. Redemption.
Exactly.
Like, hurry up and get on the damn marketing team for UFC, okay?
Yeah, they don't like me over there.
You need to get on marketing. I guess I need to get on or I guess we could both get start working with Sean Shelby, and the UFC will be better than ever.
If only.
Hey, I'm waiting for that UFC call. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy a fight night. We got a Saturday with fights again. It's cool. We got a fun stretch ahead of us. But enjoy this weekend, and we will see all of you next Tuesday.